Hey guys, it's Lex
and Courtney,
and you are listening to another episode of The Pleasure's All Yours. We are here encouraging sexual liberation in the Black and queer communities.
Yes, we are here to laugh, learn, and discover all the ways that the pleasure is
all yours.
It's all yours, baby.
What's up?
Hey, girl.
We're back again.
We are back. Another episode.
Yes.
Another episode closer to 100 episodes.
Yes.
Bitch. Can you believe that?
Every time I see one, I'm like, I can't believe we're at like 80 something episodes. Whenever I make our TikToks and we're talking about the podcast and I put like a bunch of screenshots, I'm like, damn, we have a lot of episodes about a lot of shit.
A lot of things. And it's still feeling fresh.
Yeah.
You know?
And you know what is even crazier is that I realized that like our episodes also tie into like the part of life that we're at, because you remember there was like that big chunk of episodes that were all just informational. They weren't like very like sexy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because we weren't really doing anything,
and we weren't feeling very sexy.
No.
So like,
we've had some droughts on this podcast.
we have, but it's a new era.
It does. It feels like what they say, like I jump timelines. That's what it kind of feels like.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we don't end up going out tonight, I'm going to watch My Big Fat Greek Wedding because I saw something on
the first one.
Yeah, of
course. That's your favorite one. Yeah. Are you going to watch the new one? Have you watched the new one? The third one?
No, I didn't really like the second one, so I don't have a lot of faith for the third one, but I might watch it. I think it's on HBO or something, I might watch it. But I had read something on Twitter. I'm a spiritual girly, and I really need to like calm down on that shit. But like there was one tweet that said like you can confirm that you've jumped timelines if you watch a movie that like front and back, like for you maybe Twilight, and like small details have changed, then you can like confirm that you're in a new era.
Wow. I really feel like we should have a sleepover weekend. Okay, and on this sleepover weekend we watch Twilight, but then we also watch like Burlesque and like Scott Pilgrim and like
all the faves.
Yes, My Big Fat Greek Wedding, and like we just watch a bunch of movies. I feel like we haven't had like a movie sleepover night since we were like 22.
No, I was actually just thinking about that time that I went over to your house with the one that you had with your white wife, and
wasn't my wife, please. Was not my wife. We never got there.
Never, thank God. And we watched like Obsessed.
Yes.
We watched Austin Powers and like Goldmember.
Yes.
And like one other movie, but like like all on the same night, and it was a good time. But I will be home in July, all of July, and like 90% of August.
Okay.
So like
we have to.
That's absolutely.
And we have to get that popcorn that you only find that only comes in the small box with the 3 bags.
Oh, buttery kettle.
Yeah, bitch, I cannot find that popcorn anywhere.
Oh yeah, it's at Walmart. It's usually on the bottom row, and you have to dig behind all the butter lovers. But it's usually there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep that in mind.
Yeah. Also though, I like as of recently, I have been going to the movies a lot to get my popcorn and just come back home and then like watch stuff on my TV.
I do love that though. So we definitely have to do that, and then I'll like make food and we can like get drunk and watch movies.
That sounds so nice.
Take a shot every time Bella does it.
Oh my God, bitch, we'd be dead before new moon.
I just saw a TikTok where somebody went to Forks and they toured the Twilight house, and I just really feel like we should do that.
They've consistently said that Forks is extremely racist.
Oh, yeah.
Like extremely. Like Black people even driving in, like it's not safe. You should Google Black girl Forks.
Dang.
Yeah.
So maybe we won't see the house.
Yeah.
That's actually really sad.
It does really suck that like we can't even like go and
fucking
go to our Mecca.
Man.
This is our religious journey.
Yeah, bitch. What the fuck? I'm gay and Black. I grew up on Twilight.
Twilight was it.
The book. I saw Breaking Dawn in the theater.
The night premiere.
Come
so
on.
did me and Ariana.
Yo.
I was in the premiere line for the book. My mom took me to Borders at midnight to wait in line for Breaking Dawn, and then I stayed up most of the night reading.
I read.
Those were the days.
Yeah. Even the Crank novels.
Why did those make me horny? Like seeing like white women go through so much trauma.
It's like
why was
God
it
damn.
smut?
Can you guys never like have a happy day in your life?
Seriously, those books were so intense. Like Glass.
Oh my God, yeah.
There was the prostitution one. I forgot what it was called. Like Burn.
It was Burn. It was Burn. I think it was Burn.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. But those
Crank
books
was
were
the
crazy.
drug one. Glass was Crank was like the meth one, and then then Glass was the heroine or something, or maybe it was vice versa. Anyway, damn, I kind of want to. Do they have those on audiobook? Because that would actually be. I'm yelling. Okay, that would actually be quite the.
If there's a Crank audiobook, I would like to listen to it. Yes,
there is the Crank audiobook.
I will be on Audible looking exactly for it.
It's free on Spotify if you have Spotify.
I don't have Spotify.
Okay, but it's only 5 hours. That's an easy read. Oh, I'm about to read this shit. Hold on, I'm gonna see if they have the other ones. Okay, but I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hijack this. It's just crazy. Go ahead.
Well, if you've never listened to us before,
they have them all.
Yes, they have all the Crank audiobooks on Spotify audiobook. If you want to go check those out. You know what? I also would like to listen to the Twilight audiobooks, actually.
What? Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually realized there's an audiobook I'm listening to right now, and I realized that like I really love audiobooks, but I think why I'm not a fan of the performance for this one, and I like because you can rate it. You can rate the performance of the audiobook on there. I don't like when someone is doing the audiobook and I can tell they're just reading from the book. Like, I don't like that.
You want it to sound like a story.
Yes, I want you to sound like the narrator of the story. Yeah. So, like, Angela Daw is, like, one of my favorite narrators. Okay. Like, that bitch, like, is so good. I'm like, oh, shit, and then what happened? Bitch, and then what did she say? You know, because she changes the way she says things. Yes, like, her words have emotions. Yeah. I think this one, her name's Melissa something. I don't remember. But, like, I don't really like her narration. And I'm trying to finish the audiobook because I like the story, but I don't like her narration, like, at all. But
yeah, my mom says that too, that it just depends on the person that's reading it. It can really affect your listening experience.
Yeah, because why does it sound like you're reading from a manuscript, bitch? What the fuck?
Come on, who hired you?
You're
bitch?
saying pussy and it just doesn't sound right.
Sounds like you're disgusted by the word. Are you even gay for real?
Like, come on, what? Anyway, if you've never listened to us before, we do like to start our episodes with a pleasure moment, which is just something pleasurable that happened throughout our week, something that brought us joy in some way. It doesn't always have to be sexual. So, Courtney.
My pleasure moment was definitely spending Cinco de Mayo with my bitch.
Yes.
We had a good time. You made some delicious shrimp and like fajita vegetables, and then also like actual fajita with beef. Was it beef?
It was steak, yeah.
Steak. Very, very delicious. What else we have? We had
tequila.
The best pineapple ever. Like,
I have a superpower, and my superpower is picking out really good produce, specifically fruits. Like, I'm really good at picking out fruits.
It was so good. Because actually, the last time when you made all the fruits for me and Ren when we came over.
Yeah, that tray.
They were also very good.
Yeah.
I ate so much pineapple. Between that and, like, I had just been eating a lot of pineapple. I'd also bought pineapple for myself. My pussy smelled so good when I was busting it wide open. I was just like, whoa, I'm obsessed with myself. Like, it was just so sweet. It literally smelled like a giant pineapple.
I really love being able to facilitate that for you.
Thank you so much for that. Like, and also Green should thank you as well.
Yeah.
They got all their vitamin C.
I love that. Perfect.
Yeah. What's your pleasure moment?
I'd probably say the same thing. Okay. Like, just that whole weekend, because I think we spent Saturday together, too. Like, we did something on Saturday. Well, we recorded on Saturday.
Oh, we did.
And we recorded on Saturday, and we, like, kikied a little bit. And then we rode together also. We listened to Cowboy Carter in the car. And then Sunday we like hung out for the whole day, and that was like really fun too. Yeah. Nice. I like when we can like hang out and stuff. That's like some of my favorite time.
Yeah, and especially when it doesn't have to be pod related.
Yeah. Cause I've said to you before, I'm like, I like when we hang out and it doesn't have to do anything with the pod.
Okay, no, wait.
I'm not saying
no.
That
I know. I stopped myself. Can you give my face a second to catch up so this doesn't become part of the clip?
Okay. Hey, it'll in the little reel. It'll just be you being like, yeah. But yeah, absolutely. It's just I like cute. You know, QT is like one of my favorites. So I just love spending time with you. So yeah. I do have a fun fact today.
Oh, fun!
Yeah. And it's about a Dallas local.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and like it's only because like I was like, what's something funny that happened?
Yeah. Oh, is it about the rat beef that's going on?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay. Because literally, that's
what is it? The braids?
This this is too that's too straight of a conversation for us to have on this podcast.
Yes. Oh my God. Because one of our friends, like in the office, he's always talking about that. And there's a palm woman that is in the office and she has braids. And like literally he was like, what is it, the braids? And I was like, please calm down. But yeah. The fun fact is in 2004, Dallas local Joanne Webb. This is public information, so like it's a whole thing. Okay. I'm not like putting anybody on blast.
Okay, Joanne Webb.
Joanne Webb from Dallas. She faced up to a year in prison and up to a $14,000 fine for throwing out a Tupperware of adult items from a passion party. Because yes, right? Isn't that insane?
For throwing away sex toys?
Yes, and other adult items from some passion party she had, because Texas has that obscenity law, which we've talked about as a fun fact in another episode, where like you can't have more than I think it's like 5 adult toys on your person, and if you're selling them, they can only be sold as a novelty. So that's why when you go into these adult toy stores, a lot of the boxes will say sold for novelty only. Like they're not like advertising for you to put it in your holes, but like
they are for that, and they're medically okay to put in your holes.
Yes, exactly. But there is a law in Texas where you like that's the only way that you can tell them. Wow. But she almost went to fucking jail for a year or had to pay a fine, but ultimately the charges were dropped and the case was dismissed because there are a lot of judges that are like, it just doesn't make sense that you would try to control someone with that, like what the fuck. But yeah, that bitch almost went to fucking jail for throwing that shit out.
You need to strap it on your person, put one dick here, one vibrator here, a wand on the other side, something on your back.
Bitch, you walking through the airport metal detector and they're like, could you stand to the side please? All these fucking toys dropping out your fucking pants leg.
That's gonna be me when I go to Toronto. I'm gonna they're just gonna be like, what is all of this?
Open her bag, please.
I have no shame in that. I would be like, look, if you want to touch it, you can.
There was once that when I was traveling to Miami, I had my dick in the bag, and like they pulled our bag, and I was like, oh shit,
it's probably the dick.
They about to hold my big ass dick out and be like, what's this? But it was my Blue Magic.
No, not the hair gel.
And he threw that shit away.
Quick.
I was like,
damn,
this is anti-black. And it was a white man, so I was like actually very upset about it.
Come on, bro.
I was like, bitch, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do with this? Put it on the runway?
Fire?
Like,
what's up? That shit does look flammable.
It's petroleum jelly.
So very flammable.
Yeah. Just gonna commit some crimes in the bathroom. No big deal.
That's crazy though. $14,000.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they dropped the charges on my girl. She was just trying to get her freak on.
Yeah.
Throw a pleasure party.
Yeah. And then she was like, I'm done with this.
Yeah. I mean, maybe the things that they seen, the things that the toys had been through, she was like,
yeah. I wonder how they tracked it back to her though. That's what I want to know. Maybe cameras.
DNA swabs.
Oh.
The little white crust that kind of builds up on the toys if you don't wash them.
I need a Criminal Minds episode where they do a DNA swab on somebody's toy. I need is her Penelope? Is that her name?
Yeah.
I need her to be in there, glasses and all. Anyway, I do have a pleasure principle as well.
Wow,
and
kill it.
I thought this was so interesting while we were doing the last episode because like some of the things you were talking about, I was like, wow, we're literally going to talk about that in the next episode.
Let's dive in.
That was not coordinated, guys. It was just
we're just
on the same frequency as per usual. But today we're just going to talk about like libido and the differences in libido and how that can like affect your relationships in a way, and not even like just your relationship, but like you and yourself, like while you're in the relationship.
Let's get into it.
But for those of you who don't know, your libido is just your sex drive or your desire to have sex. So like some people want to have sex more than others, they want to have sex less than others, and like it's just a scale basically. But there isn't like a normal or irregular kind of libido. Like you either have a high libido or you have a low one. And like that can fluctuate just like your moods depending on like so many different factors in your life. But a higher libido is normal, like especially if you are like in a very mentally well place in your life, like you feel like a lot of things are going right, you're active, you're healthy, like it's really normal to have like a high to like, I guess, in between high and low libido. But yeah, it really just depends. But there are a lot of things that can lower your libido, which we'll talk about later in the episode. But the difference in libido can cause like drastic issues in your relationship, but it's completely possible. I'm not saying that it's not possible to maintain a relationship if you have differing libidos, but it can be hard. It is a challenge, but people do make it work. Studies do show that 34% of women are having some kind of concern about a lower libido in themselves or their partner.
Yeah.
So there's that. 28% of those 34 do report that the lack of arousal, their partner's difficulties, like whatever their partner has going on, they're not treating them right, whatever, relationship issues, that is a reason for a lower libido. And because they feel like men are coming fast, that they're like, okay, what's the fucking point? I'm not even going to get one.
Yeah, they don't even have time to like work their way up to it.
Which goes right back to the pleasure gap episode, bridging the pleasure gap. I think that's episode 18 maybe.
Okay.
So, just goes right back to that. And that's why 95% of men are also coming, because y'all come in two pumps, I'm saying y'all as in like percentage wise, not as in every single one of y'all. So don't get your fucking balls in a twist, okay? And then
because that would actually make you last longer.
You better put a cock ring on, man.
Please.
But there was less than 5% of women that were saying that the fear of STDs or pregnancy or pain is why they have a lower libido. It's like the fear and anxiety of it all.
You said less than 5%?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's like just a small percentage, but they're like, I don't want to get pregnant, I don't want to get an STD, and I don't want it to hurt.
So I'm just not going to fuck.
So I'm just not going to fuck.
Yeah.
And I have no desire to because of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But some research does claim that it is normal in a relationship to have a differing libido. I personally am not on that side of research.
You feel like you guys have the same level of libido?
I think like we balance each other out. Okay. I'm not saying you need to have the same level. Yeah. I'm just saying there needs to be a balance of some kind. Yeah. So like I think that there is a good balance in my current partnership. But other research does claim that a balance in libido is very important for intimacy, connection, and being satisfied in your relationship, not just on a physical level, but like in the relationship altogether. Because like if you don't feel desired, then how do you feel like happy and like fulfilled in your relationship? But 39%, there was a thing, I think it was like 5,000 people or something like that, where they asked them if a differing libido is something that would cause them to leave a relationship. And 39% of men said that they would. Yeah. They're like, oh, we not fucking, I'm gone.
Let me guess the women. Oh, sorry. No, go ahead.
I was just saying the 39% was lower than I thought.
Really?
That it would say. I thought it was going to be like 48.
Maybe 50. Maybe the other 60% are just cake eaters.
Yeah, them niggas cake eaters. That's it. that makes sense. And we come up to some statistics about that as well, which is why I thought it was so crazy that that's what you were talking about in your last episode.
Continuity.
Yes, come on now.
Can I guess the women?
Please do.
So for men it was 39% wouldn't leave.
Would
leave.
Would.
Okay, so for women I'm gonna say 24%.
Really close, 27.
Yeah. 27%
of women would leave a relationship if they don't feel sexually satisfied or desired.
It takes a lot more.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But there is a study that showed 46% of people in committed relationships at least had one affair while they were in their relationship. Or
46%. 1 in 2 people have had affairs.
Yeah.
In a committed relationship.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad anymore.
And that's one of those things that I was like, that's why to me non-monogamy makes so much sense. And like why this push for monogamy and like and again, I'm not saying that it's not possible, because like there are some people who can and will be monogamous for their whole life. Will they be happy? That is like to be speculated. But I do think that it makes sense that so many people are like, oh, well, I'm going to go just fuck this other person, or I'm going to fuck multiple people at one time while still being like committed to this one person. Because like, I think as people, we have different wants and needs, and like we mesh well. You can be compatible with someone in so many ways and then still be kind of like on different pages when it comes to things like sex and intimacy.
Yeah.
So I don't think that there should be a big deal if you're wanting to seek those things from an outside source.
Just ethically.
Yes, just ethically. That's really all a bitch is saying. But let me see. Yeah, there can be a lot of reasons that a libido is mismatched, but the biggest factor was that people were unhappy in the relationship. Like they didn't feel fulfilled, desired, listened to, considered, like all of those things that you need to be in a happy, healthy relationship. Most people who were having affairs felt like they weren't getting those things. So yeah. But communication is also a big thing.
Yeah.
But I have questions for the girls at the end, but I have questions like throughout. So, how important do you think it is to have a balanced or matched libido?
Now, up until this last relationship, I would have said like, oh, it's probably something you could work through because I feel like my partners have been able to kind of balance me out. Like before this last partner, which I hate that I never really gave him a name, so I'd be easier to. But like with Blue and Alex, I don't give a fuck about that nigga. So
where is he now? Who the fuck
literally
cares?
Where is he now? You would never be able to find him. I don't even like. Yeah. So with Blue and with Alex, I think that they balanced me out in the sense of like, if they when I wanted to have sex, they always wanted to have sex.
Yeah.
But then when I didn't want to have sex, not in a bad way, but like they knew how to like convince me to have sex.
Yeah.
Not like, come on, like let's do it.
Yeah.
If you don't do it, I'm gonna do this. More like they like know my trigger points.
Yeah.
And so like
we talk about that too.
they could get me there. But with this last relationship, it was like pulling teeth. So I think moving forward, we have to be on some kind of same page sexually, or we could talk about being ethically non-monogamous. Yeah. That way I could be able to get what I need from other sources.
Yeah.
Ethically.
Yeah. I think that that's really important. I have like a really wide kink streak, and like my current partner does not have that in the way that I'm wanting to display it. Like she likes a lot of different things that really turn me on. It's just like there's also something else and I'm like itching to do. So, but that is a conversation that we've also had about like, well, maybe you should find a sub, or how would you feel if I found a sub, or how would you feel if I like just played that way with someone, Anyway, she's always like, as long as you're not going grocery shopping with that bitch, I don't care.
Yeah, that's very intimate.
Yeah, that is very intimate. I think that it is really important either way. I've been in one relationship where it didn't match at all, and it wasn't balanced either. Because like, I like to talk. I like to say things. I like when people say things to me. I like when people look at me like they literally cannot
suck you off the bone.
Yo, like again, I think about like, and it's in the anyway. Let me just relax. But I need to feel like you like want to put my whole body in your mouth. Like I need you to like be like, I want to suck you in like a little syringe. That's like what I need. Wing. Yeah, like a flat bitch. Dip it in some ranch and
I'm getting the gristle off the end.
Yes, like, yes, that's what I need. Yeah. And so I think that like in that pairing, that person was like really quiet having sex as well. Like they didn't really like to talk. They like to do the same thing just about every time, which like without adding some kind of other stimulus can become boring. Yeah.
You don't even get stimulated by that anymore.
Yeah. And also like it's not like a foreplay was a thing. Like, so sometimes with like my current partnership, we will foreplay each other for like 2 days, and it's like we're just like touching and like kissing, and then there's like one night where I'm like, okay, like it'll go like 2 days where I'm like, I literally, if you don't fuck me today, it's gonna be insane. Like I need you to get on that now. So like I think that just having someone who can do that it's
the playfulness for me, and like the wait, like the wait period.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have to be multiple days, but like just the fact that like you're willing to take your time because you want to do this, you want to be there. Like I think my issue with my last partner was also like they just viewed sex as like a means to an end.
Yeah.
Like if I'm not like I'm doing this so that I can come, and this is like I'm coming so that I won't be horny anymore. Like I'm horny, I need to come, so that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
But like I'm just like let's have fun and like let's tease each other and like talk to each other and like I really like fluids, and like they always just made me feel kind of bad about having so many of them.
No,
just having so much of it.
You should be saying thank you.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So,
like my coochie showing you how much she's having a great time, and you want her to not do that? That's
come on, man. It's not even like I put a towel down.
Yeah, and even if I do pee on you, who the fuck cares?
Yeah, yeah, I just love when like my partner just wants all that.
Yeah,
and it just gets. I just like being kind of like I keep saying nasty, but I like
it's free.
That's a better word for it. It's just like. Whatever like you're down for, like I'm down for. Like, let's
and like whatever happens here, I don't know. I think that's what like sex is missing for like some people is that they do think, and I think that is because of like the way porn portrays sex, as well as like movies and things like that. Like I think like you can't just do it just to have fun, to pass time, to like just like feel connected as well. And that is what sex is for a lot of people, is like feeling connected to that person
and to yourself.
Yeah.
Like
just like I was saying in the last episode, we had like I was having like that. We had that really serious conversation, and I felt weird for 2 days, and then we had great sex last night, and now I feel back to normal.
Yeah.
So like
the validation.
Yeah.
Like when I was having sex the other day, there was a moment where I was just like thinking to myself like. Yes, like I really need this. Like this is something I need. And this is something I like. I want for my own body and like for my own self-confidence. Like it's good for my mental health to be like
getting fucked
exactly how I want to be fucked with somebody that wants to fuck you, like really wants to fuck.
Yeah. And I also think that like being able to just like be free in what your body does and what you know it can do, like being able to just let that go also just makes sex so much more enjoyable, because you don't feel like you have to hold anything in. And like especially because sometimes you can get into a mental state of where like sex is performative and you are trying to get to the end. I think like being able to be free in your desire and like your actions and like what you say and things is like perfect. Like
absolutely.
So I definitely think it's like really important to at least have a balance or a matched one. I don't give a fuck what them articles say about like how you can make it work and how it's like normal or things like that, but I think it's like because it's pushed on us that it should be normal for one person to be sexually satisfied and the other one to barely be sexually satisfied. Like you can have all the things, you know, like you can have all the things. You don't have to settle for the 80%. Like you can have all the things.
Absolutely.
But there are a lot of reasons that you can have a lower libido, and like I said, it's like relationship issues, your mental health, because as we said in other episodes, there was a good point in episodes where we weren't even like in a good mental space, so it's like we weren't really feeling sexy anyway. Body insecurities as well. That is a big one. Health issues is also another one. If you take SSRIs or like any other kind of medication, that can also affect your libido. I was on Lexapro for a while, and that really like murdered my libido with a very like rusty knife, and it was like so disappointing for me because I'm thinking about sex but I'm not wanting to have it, which is like irritating because it's like, well, I'm thinking about pussy so much but I don't want it.
You don't want it, but then when you did masturbate, like you were having a hard time orgasming?
I was having a hard time orgasming. It just felt like it was taking so long. So you know, I do have like an appointment to like get evaluated mentally, and so I want to be put on medication to like help me, but I'm also kind of really scared about it. But I guess I could counteract that with like vitamins and things such as that.
Definitely.
So,
you can also do your research, because I know there's a few different kinds that don't have as bad of an effect as like Lexapro. I've heard that about specifically Lexapro.
Lexapro is really bad, but you know, my psychiatrist is a Black woman, so I'll talk to her about all that. And life in general can also just lower your libido. The economy, the war in Gaza, what's going on in the Congo and the Dominican is it the Dominican Republic? No,
there's the Republic Republic of Congo.
Oh, yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah. So, you know, there's all of those things happening. Yeah. So, you know, you think about those things and that doesn't really make you horny in any way. So there's that as well. Yeah. So I don't think there's anything wrong with having a lower libido. I think it's just about like, you know, addressing it and kind of going from there. In all these articles I was reading, they were saying there are ways to meet in the middle. And one of these I think would have been great in like your last pairing, which there are two types of desire. Mm-hmm. There is spontaneous desire and then there is responsive desire. So spontaneous is just like what you see in the movies when they like come in and they're like knocking shit over and taking their clothes off and they're just like, well, why are you guys fucking like this right now? And it's like, there's no reason. We just kind of felt like it.
Yeah, it came over you.
It just kind of came out of nowhere. Yeah. I think like libido can work that way too, where it can just be like out of nowhere, you're just horny for no reason. Out of nowhere. Why the fuck am I like squirming in my desk right now? I'm not even doing anything. Like this is like the most mundane thing I'm doing all day, and I like can't stop thinking about getting fucked.
Yes, like when I was on birth control, that never really happened for me anymore. I rarely had spontaneous desire. Yeah. But since being on my IUD for 2 years, I feel like a little teenager again because there are times a month where I just get like so like laser focused in on like fucking for no reason. Yeah. Like I'll just be chopping up vegetables and I'm like, whoa, like what's going? And it'll last for days. And it's just it's a good feeling, honestly, to just like go and like know your pussy's wet and ready for anything. Mm-hmm,
literally, I think like maybe a couple weeks ago I was like horny for days.
Oh, I remember that stint. You were really going through it, bitch.
Oh my god! And like it's not like I wasn't getting my pussy ate or anything. I was just so horny, and like I think that also comes from there are so many things that I dream about. Like I have a lot of very graphic sex dreams, and like that's why I'm like I should maybe really like lean into my kink side because like most of the time that's what they're about.
Your brain is telling you something. It's telling you it needs some kind of release.
Yeah, so like, you know, sometimes it's my dreams and like I'll be thinking about my dreams or like subconsciously they'll just come to the forefront of my mind and I'm like, But yeah, I did go through like a little time where I was like very like spontaneous with it. I'm like sitting at my desk fucking feeling my lips talk to each other. I'm like, yo, you gotta calm down, bro. Like, relax. But spontaneous is sudden, doesn't need much or anything to create the desire. Mm-hmm. And responsive desire is built by like getting one of your five senses or multiple of your five senses being stimulated in a way that will turn you on. Mm-hmm. So, you know, sometimes it's like a touch on your lower back or like for me, any skin, especially on my back, I have a very sensitive back and spine. So like any touch there is like automatically going to give me goosebumps on my neck, my ears. Like if you're like talking to me, but you're whispering in my ear, please stop yelling. You got to relax. And like just hugging, like sometimes just like a sweet kiss or like the way somebody's looking at me even, that to me is responsive. Like my body will always respond to those things. Yeah, don't look at my lips. Don't do it. Like, especially like while I'm talking.
Oh, then like look back up at you.
Stop! Oh my god! Yeah. Like, what are you thinking about? Why are you doing that? Explain.
I think you know what they're thinking about.
Yeah, but I want you to tell me.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is that. And the thing about responsive desire is that there's a sex therapist. Her name is Jennifer Vinsel. She says that there is a scale of like willingness to get. And so this is what I'm saying. Like there's a scale between 0 and 10, and 0 is you have no willingness at all to like be sexy, have any sexy time or intimacy in that way. That a 0 is like a no-go, which is like, okay,
hands off kind of
thing. It's like hands off. I don't want to go there. I don't even want to try. But like if you're at like maybe a 3 or a 4, then you're open to at least being stimulated in a way that would get you to a point where you want to have sex. And I think that is important when you have mismatched libidos, because if you have no willingness to even meet your partner at the 7 that they're at, then like they're always at a 7 and you're always at a 0.
I've had this exact conversation with them, like including like giving almost number examples like that. Like if you're not even willing to try to meet me, to be open, if you're not even willing to try to be open to possibly actually being turned on, then this is not gonna work. Like you can say that you're gonna change and like try to meet me halfway, but you're not capable of doing that because you're not opening your mind to like letting these moments that we're spending together like be something else. Instead, you're like, it would be almost like if I were
platonic.
I said to them, I've been feeling like your friend for so long that when now that we're broken up, it was easy for me to go fuck somebody else because I've been your friend for like the last 6 months. We haven't even really been fucking. But anyway, I think that's so important. Like the willingness to try to be open is half of the battle. Yeah. Because if you're at a 0, there's just no way I can get you at close to a 7. And most of the time, I just like I hovered around like a 6, you know. But then as time went on, I would get down to it was almost like we'd switch places. Like I would get down to like 2 or 3 because I knew that it would take so long for me to get them there. One, and then when they got there, it wouldn't be
it'd be like really quick as well.
Yeah, and just disconnected. Just like. Yeah, like I wanted somebody to swallow me up and like look at me.
Have you ever been swallowed up?
And
you wouldn't had some real eaters in your life, so like munchers, whatever the fuck you want to call.
I have had some eaters in my day.
So it's like,
thanks for reminding me, Lex.
So it's like you go from having like literal eaters, like you're a Brahms ice cream cone, and they're come on, and then now that's not what you're getting. So yeah,
it made me feel not good about myself, even though I know it wasn't about me, but it just was, I didn't feel like connected to my sexuality. Yeah. Like I feel like it was too I used to live a life and now I don't live that life anymore. And that's why it was very hard for me for a lot of months to talk about like sex on the podcast because I just wasn't having any.
I think that that's what a lot of marital couples go through as well, where like they feel like how you were feeling, where it's like, well, like I'm not having it anyway, so like why is it? They feel like it's not important because they're not having it anyway. Yeah. And then they're like, well, I have all these other things. And I think me and you had a conversation where you said you felt like it was superficial for you to be like worried about that.
Yes.
And I don't think that is, because that still is a part of intimacy. And like as a sexual person that I know that you are, and like someone who is so in tune usually with their sexuality, like it can be like a very like a very big detriment to like how you're feeling on a day to day. So
I really think it affected even like how I create. Like, I don't think I'm able to like, well, I'm getting it back, but like I haven't been able to tap into like that energy of like creation and like confidence,
because like creation takes passion.
It does.
And like if you've been snuffing out your passion for months, then like
you know, snuffing it.
Stomping on that
every
shit.
Every weekend I would go to their house before I entered their door. We just snuff out my horniness, my passion. I've been traveling for 6 days.
Let me not tell you how much I want to slide on you like a slug in the nighttime.
Yeah. Like, okay, let's just cuddle and go to sleep at 10:30.
Yeah. Hey, and if that's for you, that's for you. Some
nights that is great. Yeah. Oh, some nights that was perfect.
And like, but there are also like bitches that's how they are just normally. Exactly how this person is exactly how like other women are. And I think like that is just what he should be seeking.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there was also another study published in the Journal of Sex and Marital Therapy, where 95% of men feel that it is important to feel desired by their partner.
You said 95% of men?
Men, yeah. I looked everywhere trying to find statistics on like how important it is for women to feel desired, and I could not find anything.
That is insane.
In this whole article, it only talked about men and how they needed to feel desired. I Googled it. I changed the Google search in so many ways to see if I could find a percentage. But like all it kept saying is like, oh, you know, feeling desired by your partner is important, blah, blah, blah. But this was the only one that was saying that 95% of men feel that it's important to be desired by their partner. And I think that that's so funny that they say they want to feel desired, but then they do all these things that are undesirable, which makes their partner desire them less. So it's like you want me to desire you, but you're not doing anything that's making me desire you or you being desirable in general.
Self-sabotage.
Yes. So it's
Get y'all
like
shit
you
together.
fucking up your own bag, like by being a piece of shit. You're not considerate. I have to beg you to bring flowers.
Yeah.
This is not my experience. This is just people around me. People around me. But yeah, it's like things like that. It's like really will contribute to how much you desire the other person. So like a question in regards to desire, when it comes to feeling desired, how important is that to you?
I think it's really important to be desired in the right way, because I think my partner desired me, but like more like my company, and like I wanted them to desire like my body and like my sexuality. Like I wanted them to desire like feeling close to me in that way, and like, or I wanted them to desire making me feel good. Yeah, that's what I really wanted. I wanted you to want to like eat my pussy, or like so much that I squirt everywhere, or like just make me feel good, even just rub on me. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Sometimes
like,
that's all I want, is just to be rubbed on.
Literally, that would have also solved a lot of my issues.
Is
like,
having intimacy
in other ways that were still physical, but like they didn't involve like your dick didn't have to go inside of me. You know, like there's ways to do that, or even not have to eat me out. But anyway, desire for me is very important in a relationship. I didn't realize that again, but like I really need to feel like you can't wait to like touch me, that you can't wait to hold me, that you can't wait to make me come. Like
like come out in a sexy outfit and it's like, wait, hold on. Pause.
And like it was like that for a little bit, but
well, I know like me and Red were just having a conversation last night while I was making the outline about desire, and I was asking her about like her desire and like her being turned on and things like that. And you know, she was just saying things like, I don't usually get horny by myself. Like I'm not just like sitting around and I'm like, oh, I'm horny. Like she's not a spontaneous horny person, but she's like, sometimes I see you naked, or sometimes we're like laying here and I'm like, she'll like rub on my back and I'll just be like, that feels nice. And she's like, that will make me horny. And she's like, sometimes just like us kissing will make me horny, like things like that. But she's like, I'm not usually just like sitting here and I'm like randomly horny. She's like, something has to make me horny. And I thought that like that was really like telling for me, and like it clicked to me like how our libidos are balanced, not necessarily matched, because she even said that. She was like, I feel like you're always on, and I'm like, pretty much.
Or it's very easy to get you
or easy. It's so easy. I feel like my body's really responsive to touch just in general, and like words and to my senses, so it is really easy to turn me on. It doesn't really take much. But she like acknowledged that, but she's like, it's your reactions that will make me, she's like, even if I don't want to have sex, like before last night, like after you left, actually, whenever she came over, we were like sitting on
a little drunk too.
Yeah, we were like sitting on the couch and like something happened. I don't even remember what happened, but like we ended up like fucking on the couch, and like she was like fingering me and I like just like squirted everywhere. And like she wasn't in the mood, like she had even said that, but like after that, like the way she was like looking at me, she was like, we need to go play.
Making your partner feel good is hot. So that's it's like if you just take a little bit of time to like even make me feel good, you might be like, damn, actually fuck.
And that's usually how it is. Like she's always at least at like a 4 of willingness to get there. Which is so great, because sometimes I don't feel like it. So, you know, and with my ex, sometimes I felt like she also was always on, and sometimes I wasn't always on at that time. So like sometimes I felt obligated to make sure that she got fucked the way she wanted to. And then even after that, I would feel like, well, I don't really want to get fucked right now, but like I know that's a part of what's turning you on, is the possibility of me also. So now I feel like I have to perform a little bit and like kind of make myself have an orgasm for you while we're playing, so that way you can feel completely fulfilled, you know? So there is that. And I think in that pairing as well, there were some times where I felt like I was kind of only around to sling dick, which can be like,
that's very dehumanizing.
Yeah, but it's not like she was doing it on purpose. I think because like and maybe it's my fault for being good at the strap. Maybe it's my fault, but like that would be something that she requested a lot, you know? And I remember one time she was like, I just thought it's because you liked it that much. And I was like,
girl, I like pussy.
Yeah, you literally be like, don't come over here without my bestie. And the bestie's the dick. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, yeah. So, you know, it's like one of those things. But anyway, yeah, feel desired. Make your partner feel desired. Be willing to like get to a point of being desired, you know?
Yeah, that's very important.
Yeah. And another way to like kind of counter the difference is to seek professional help. And there are therapists, like regular counselors, but there are sex therapists that specialize in the mental and emotional issues that you're having that are making you disconnected from sex. So, you know, I think like finding someone who specializes in that is like really important, because you can tell a regular counselor about it and they can spout all these things, but like this person specializes in desire and all of that stuff. So yeah, I think that is really important. This isn't going to fix everything, but if you feel like the relationship that you're in is one that you don't want to give up for any reason, and that you do want to like continue to move forward in the pairing, then, you know, seeking professional help is good. But like if it's just somebody you're dating and you don't see yourself marrying them, you don't see like, you just don't see it that way, I don't think like putting that much effort into it. Maybe instead of getting a sex therapist, you could get a sex coach, which is completely different, because a sex coach,
a little more hands-on.
Yes, and a sex coach has no like, they're not a counselor. They have no like certifications to. Yeah, sex coach. They don't.
You could just be a sex coach.
No,
today?
you have to get certified to be a sex coach, but they don't have the same certifications as a counselor, as a therapist.
Okay, yeah.
They're just there to coach you. So the therapist is usually, like I said, someone who specializes in mental and emotional sexual related issues. But a sex coach holds webinars and classes and conferences and retreats to help foster intimacy with your partner and help you understand your sexuality and improve your sex life with your partner. So like if you are with someone and it's been like maybe 2 years and you're like, okay, well, this is kind of like falling off. Maybe we should see a sex coach, or maybe I should talk to a sex coach, or maybe we should go to a webinar or a retreat that can like kind of help you get back in touch with your sexuality, and also just like have a better understanding of your partner's sexuality as well. So, you know, there's that. But those can also be used by single people. Like you don't have to be in a partnership to go to a webinar. I know that there are some people who are like solo poly individuals who really like to be with like couples and things. I used to live that life now. But yeah, you know, like those are also good because you can meet other people who are on the same like they're thinking the same way as you. Yeah, exactly. So like, you know, it's a good way to get connections as well. But like I said, they are not therapists, so they can't, they're not professional health counselors, so they can't like diagnose you with anything or anything like that. Or prescribe you anything or anything like that. Yeah. And, you know, if there is another thing that you can do is, like, think about taking vitamins and, like, the sex pills and things like that. You know, Courtney be off them boner bears sometimes.
I actually have been taking maca for the last week and a half.
Yeah, you were saying that.
I have one in my pocket because I need to take it. But it gives me a lot of energy, so I take it first thing in the morning, not on any food. I am just coming off of my period. Like, I should be ovulating, like, next week, so I feel like we'll really see it if I can find a difference.
Not her pulling out the fucking maca capsule.
Yeah, it was on sale at Whole Foods for like $9 for a 60-day.
Yeah, maca root is a really popular one. I think ginseng is also another one. Ashwagandha is another one as well.
I heard that you should not take that if you have like PCOS or issues with your hormones, because it increases your testosterone, which can make your PCOS symptoms like much worse.
So definitely, like, if you have a primary care physician or a nurse line that you can call, definitely call them and talk to them about that. But let me see, what was the next one? Another thing to consider whenever you have mixed match libidos is to really think about how this aligns with you, the relationship you want, the end goal you want, and the kind of lifestyle you want to continue to live. I think that is like a really important factor, because if you not having sex with your partner and them not having desire to have sex with you is not something so how you are right now, if you're not having sex with your partner and that's just how it's been for months, think about, okay, well, if it's 3 years from now, and there was an article I was reading, and her husband hadn't had sex in like 12 years.
And you just had a nigga living in your house.
And I worked at the sex shop where there was literally a woman who had just she had gotten a divorce, and she was saying that like her husband, for the last like 2 decades of their marriage, they didn't have any sex, and like when they did have sex, she never had an orgasm, and like for most of her like marriage, they had sex to have children, and like once their children were grown up, you know, it stopped. It kind of waned because like it's not like you're trying to get pregnant or anything like that. So, you know, there's that. So definitely like think about if the state of your libidos is something that you can deal with for the rest of however, because like I said, libido does fluctuate. So it's not like it will be like that forever, but you need to consider the possibility of it being like that forever. And if it is that a part of yourself that you're willing to continuously snuff out, or, you know, can this person be in an open pairing with you? If not, is like seriously, you need to think about if that's something you can, because otherwise all that's going to do is you build up resentment for this person.
Then you start treating them different,
and then you start being a cake eater.
Yeah, and then you start being a cake eater. It is really just a journey downhill.
Yeah. So definitely think that is very, very important. Ask yourself if you are needing more to be happy. Like, are you happy is a question you should be asking. And if you're not happy, what is it that you feel like you're missing that's not making you happy? And then be open and honest with your partner about your needs, where you feel that your connection is lacking, and if that's not something that you can continue with, then cutting ties and kind of going your separate ways, which can be the hardest part, because you can really love someone and really want something to work and it just not work, and
it don't work.
It's
not, something's not clicking, Steven.
And that's okay. It's just about being open and honest about what that is and why that is.
And honestly, like, give them time to catch up to you. Like, bring it up. I just kept bringing it up. I brought it up every month. But keep like just bring
ovulation.
It up.
All right, let's
have this conversation again. Like, it really got to the point where at the end we were just like, I don't even want to have this conversation again, but like, I'm here trying, so like, let's have this conversation again. Yeah. At that point, that's when you really evaluate and you're like, okay, how long can I do this? But when you first bring it up, definitely give them some time to like process that information and like give them the opportunity like to cycle through trying that. Like, don't expect it to happen tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Especially because if it comes from like mental issues, body issues,
right, that's not
insecurities, you can't. Yeah, that doesn't happen overnight. But I would definitely give them some time. And if it's been like a few months and what they're trying is not working for you, and you can't see yourself continuing to do this, then definitely just go on about your day, girl. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And with that being said, I do have some questions for the girls.
Okay.
I know we asked a lot of questions already while we were doing it, but and I know that you've talked about this as well. Like, what is it like mentally when you do have a drastically like mixed matched libido with the person that you're with?
It's exhausting in the sense of like, I felt like I was always like suppressing myself, and then I also started to feel like I was like some like sex demon, like fiend, like that's fiend. That's what they made me feel like.
Feeling feral
a lot.
All the time.
Yeah, like, because there was times where he would literally just be like, yo, like, I need you to like chill, because I would just be like all on him, or like I would make, I'm goofy, so like I'll make a lot of sexual remarks. Like, when I want to fuck, I'll just start talking about it. Like, or if he says something crazy, like, yeah, just slide it in for me, I'd be like, yeah, slide it in for me, and like after a while he'd just be like, it puts a lot of pressure on me. It makes me feel like I have to like respond to you in a certain way, or like when you're all up on me and I'm not feeling it, like I can cuddle you, but I know you want more, and that makes me feel like ashamed that I don't want more. And like, so I just, after a while, it started to make me feel like self-conscious about, and that's why I was saying shit like, I can't break up with them over this because it's not worth it. Like, sexually, it just seems so shallow for that to be a reason that this doesn't work out. But that's because they kind of made me feel like that, you know, like I was kind of crazy for wanting sex with my partner. And I've said this before. We would have like such great days because I love to be around him, that like that would make me so horny. Like, when we would go out and have a good time, when we would laugh, we would go to Sue Ellen's and dance all night. And then like you go back and go to sleep. I would be just like so confused because I'm like, we had such a good day. I just want to like get you home. And like, you just understood me so much today. Or you just like made me feel like a little pretty princess so much today. Yeah. But just never lined up like that.
Yeah, go to bed frustrated, waking up, don't know why everything that they're doing is pissing you off.
I used to be like this in the bed. Like, I couldn't even like face him. Like, I would just turn away and just be like this, like
pissed off.
Just like staring into the void at 11 o'clock. Like, fucking shit. Like, I don't even want to masturbate right now. Yeah. And like, that's also the thing is like, I didn't even want to masturbate. Yeah. Like, it's not enough. Yeah. It was not enough.
It's like the connection, the passion, the like.
Yes. Yeah. And then I would be at home like without him and I would be trying to masturbate and I'm like, oh, this is so exhausting. This is not even what I want for real. Like, it's not going to solve anything. I'm still going to wake up tomorrow feeling like this. So.
Yeah.
Lots of frustration, girl. I think that's the word, frustration.
Yeah. I mean, I think in the occasions that I've felt it, it is like, that's the main thing that comes to mind is like frustrating because it's like, it's not like you're doing it on purpose. So like, I'm not like upset with you and now I feel bad because I'm frustrated with you. I don't even want to look at you because like, you like and like then it comes to like, well, I'm giving you all these things and we're doing all these things and I'm just asking for this one thing and you can't or won't or don't want to give me that thing. And that is like, yeah, that like makes you think about like, well, maybe it is me that like has an issue, but nah. My next question is, how has your libido with your partners like affected your relationship in a positive way?
I think long-term relationship-wise, I don't have lots of like really super positive, but like relationships where we're having sex, like, and the other person also really actively wants to have sex with you. Yeah, it's the best. Yeah, I feel like then you plan your days around it, and like you just kind of know you could just be whatever you want to be that day. You could be like in the car and be like, oh, I've never had sex in this position in the car, and then you guys just do it. Like, I think it just makes life fun when your libido matches, whether you're in a relationship or it's just a fuck buddy or a friend or whatever. Yeah, it's just more fun.
Because like if we're in the car and we're on a road trip and I like reach over to touch your pussy, I want you to be so open to like
let's fucking
doing
try
that
it.
And being like, yeah, I know we're driving 70 down Highway 45. I don't give a fuck, bitch. Yeah, I'll bust it open for the truck driver. I don't give a fuck. Yeah,
fuck exactly. Like it's just fun when somebody can like match your freak. Is somebody gonna match my freak?
Like somebody, literally. I've been a nasty girl, nasty. Yes, come on, Tinashe. Yep. I think same. Yeah, like is so fun because then like all the urges I have is not like I have to hide them, and so it's like I'm having this horny thought, I'm gonna share it, or like you say something, and then I'm like, okay, and then I say something sexual back, or I go pause, or I go wait, hold on, calm down.
Same page.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think that can definitely be really fun, and like when it's like consistent as well, like amazing, because then it's like I don't ever have to feel self-conscious about saying something overly horny, because you're gonna be like, oh really, so I love that. So yeah, I definitely like agree with that it does make things more fun. It gives you that like childlike wonder, like that childlike curiosity. Excitement. And like yeah, I totally feel that. And I think we already know, because I think you already said, but like is a mixed matched libido a deal breaker for you at this point?
It's not a deal breaker, but like let's see what we do with it. How much are we both willing to compromise to make sure our needs are met in all aspects? I think that's all that's important, is like how much can we compromise on this? Yeah, I feel that. Okay. And let me see. What about you? Do you think mixed match libidos?
Oh yeah. Yes. For me, I think like if like we're not balanced in some way, like it doesn't even have to match, but if we're not balanced and you don't have the willingness to like meet me in the middle, I can't do it. Like I can't, because like I know how horny of a person I am and can be.
Yeah, have the capability of being.
And like how my fucking brain works and like how kinky I can be. So like, yeah, that's like a deal breaker for me, because like that is really a self-regulator for me as well. Like as a person who's like really stressed out and feeling like I don't have control over things, like that is the one place that I always know that I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to have a great orgasm, and like I'm going to be able to fulfill like parts of me that I can't on like in like a regular vanilla like lifestyle. So like, yeah, definitely 110%. I think it is a deal breaker for me.
Hell, if it's a deal breaker, it's a deal breaker, baby.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Like if you don't, I'm so sorry. Like even when you were telling me about things that happen, I'm like, bitch, and like I have to word it. Like when we would talk about it, I would make sure I have to word it in a way where it's like what you are going through and not how I would respond. Yes. Because like when you were first telling me about it, I'm like, oh, hell no. I'm like, absolutely not. But that's just because I'm also an overthinker. So I'm like, if it's like this now and you're trying to get me complacent to it being like that, that means it most likely will be like that. And you're not about to fucking get me stuck here, bitch. Ain't no way. Absolutely not. But
definitely.
Yeah, but that's why when we were talking about it, I would be like, okay, rein it in, bitch.
You know, it was tough. It was tough.
And another question is, what does it feel like to you? Like, and what kind of sensation or what kind of like mind space do you go to when you do feel like wanted and desired by the person that you're like with in either romantically, fuck buddy, friend, like whatever?
Literally, you asking that question, I just felt like my eyes on fire because that's literally what I feel like. Mm-hmm. I literally feel like so powerful, like just free, like genuinely.
It's a different kind of confidence as well.
It is like. Yeah.
It's like, it doesn't matter what I'm doing right now. You're going to be like, and I like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I just feel so, like, intensely, like, passionate for whoever I'm, like, having sex with, which I love that about myself, honestly.
Yeah.
That, for the most part, if I'm feeling, like respected and, like, reciprocated, that, like, we don't have to know each other for that long for me to, like, give you, like, a really good night.
Yeah.
I know it sounds a little slutty.
We love sluts here.
Yeah.
Side note, we love sluts here.
We love them.
On the Pleasure's All Yours, if you're a slut, we love you.
Yes. Be a slut. Be a whore.
Be a whore, bitch.
Yeah.
Like that one bitch from what's that one with that bitch where she's like fucking the president?
Oh, Scandal?
Yeah.
Olivia Pope?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be like that,
be
bitch.
A hoe.
Be a hoe, bitch.
She said, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a damn.
Popping it in the Oval Office, bitch. Yeah, fuck it.
That's that spontaneous desire.
Exactly.
What about you?
I think I definitely feel like powerful. I think like the dom in me really comes out.
Yeah.
Like it really does. I'm like, do you know what I could do? You even I can never actually get like what my fantasy looks like out in words, but it's like, do you understand?
Try.
I'm just saying, like when I think about it, like when I feel desired and like it's matched with the person I'm with, I'm like, you don't even understand what I could and want to do to you. And
I don't even understand what I could.
No, I do 100%. I do, and I'm concerned for you. Like in a positive way, I'm concerned for you because it's like and sometimes that's why I'm like, well, if we are planning to do something, I'm like, it needs to be a surprise because like I have so many things in my head. And again, I have so many dreams. It's crazy. I should start keeping a sex journal, honestly. But like, there are so many things that come to my head that I want to do that I'm like, I just can't even tell you. I would have to show you. Like, that's the only way. So like, if I see you looking at me like that and you're talking to me like in like, you know, when people, they drop their voice a little bit, I'm like, you're talking to me like that. You're looking at my lips. Like I turn around and I catch you checking me out. Like it's like you're like baiting me. Like you're baiting me and I'm about to fuck you up. Like I'm about to fuck you up.
Take that bait, bitch.
Yo,
Chomp you down.
Literally, you think you're fishing. I'm pulling you into the water. Don't fuck with me. Ooh, yeah, I love it. I love it. It like literally has my heart pounding right now.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like it's just such a warm, hot,
and it feels like
feeling.
a ring around the rosy. You know, like when you're like skipping in a circle. That's what it feels like. Wow. And my last question is: do you have any advice for the girlies, like
in mixed match libido relationships?
Yeah, or like just yeah.
My advice for you is to like really, I would really think about what you want long term for your intimate life, like not just sexually, like directly sexually, but like how else can you feel fulfilled? Like if sex is not that big of a deal to you, but you're not having a lot of it and you want to have more, are there other ways that you guys can feel fulfilled together? And are they willing to like meet you halfway?
Yeah.
I would just do a lot of thinking about what you really truly want long term instead of trying to match, like meet somebody exactly where they're at.
Yeah.
Focus on you, because ultimately, like you said, it's going to turn into resentment.
Yeah.
And especially if we really love that person, it's for the best.
Yeah.
For you to like be honest about your feelings, and don't feel bad about needing more. Don't feel bad about needing more. Because
like they have their desire and you're not making them feel bad about that. Right. So like there's no reason for you to feel bad about what you want. I would probably like say the same thing and like do what is best for you and what would be best for the other person as well. So like if it's not something that you feel like you can compromise on or you can wait for them on, then do what is best for like the quality of the relationship you have and like your emotional well-being as well as theirs, like your mental well-being as well, because like as you said, like it can really affect your mental health. And like just use those as being indicators. I think people put up a lot of different flags in a lot of different ways. And I'm not saying like mixed match libido is a red flag, but I think it is like a beige flag or like a different colored flag that you should at least pay attention to. Yep. Maybe a yellow flag, you know, where it's like, okay, is this something that we need to address? If we do address it, what's the outcome? If it doesn't change, what would be the outcome of that? I think it's just something you should definitely like take into consideration when you're thinking about being with someone long term. So, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
I love those questions.
Thank you so much. Yeah. You know, I was just on my little laptop, just clicking away. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Listening to Celine Dion, 1996, Falling Into You. Mm-hmm. Such a great album. Yeah. She's a great woman. This morning I was listening to Taking Chances, the album. Okay. Fabulous stuff.
Yes. Okay, discography.
Literally.
Well, if this is the first time you listen to us and you love the show, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube, like, comment, leave a review. Subscribe on Spotify and Apple Music so you never miss a fucking episode, bitch. You'll get a notification. I think usually these episodes come out like 6 in the morning, 6 or 7. Yeah. You'll get a notification before you even wake up, bitch. You can play it in the car. You can play it for your first shift. You know, if you can listen to your AirPods, whatever. Yeah. Follow us on Instagram at allyourpleasures_. Also on TikTok, same at allyourpleasures_. And whether you're listening to this on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, bitch, we love you. Bye.